use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. Hey, what's up guys? MetaGamesGX here, and we are with YouTube right now, and we are live, and we're going to be going through all the OTS branded Despia deck lists that topped from over the weekend. I also have a couple lists from the weekend before, because some countries had their OTS the week before. However, OTS tournaments are kind of like a between a locals tournament and a regional, where you can top 4 gets invites. It does cut to top 8, however, and first place gets a OTS champion mat. The mat this time around is the Promethean Princess mat, and it's very nice looking. And I made a post on both of the branded Facebook groups, and I asked for your guys' list. I also made a post in my own Discord. Make sure to join the Discord if you have not already. And we ended up getting about like 25 topping branded lists. So you guys killed it out there this weekend. I had a lot of messages over the weekend saying, hey, I ended up getting my invite for the first time, or I got my invite this year. I'm going to Euros, I'm going to Nats. That really made me happy. So really happy to hear all these branded duelists doing really well. I wanted to showcase everybody. We even have an Andre Torres list where he went 6-0 with Chimera branded. So even for you Chimera lovers, we're going to have the GOAT's deck profile there. He's still in it, so we love to see it. But we're going to be starting off with a deck profile from Brandon from Chicago, one of Yuri Diaz's, another branded brother in crime that I bring here on the channel a lot. This guy, his friend, first place in OTS in Chicago. So we're going to go through that. But before that, we do that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below what you guys thought about these deck lists, and then also make sure to get this video to 200 likes, and we will end up doing another video of us going through your deck list on Discord. I know that you guys love that, and we do actually have a few of those in the works already, so make sure to leave a like, comment below, subscribe, check out all the links below, and we're going to get right into it. So this is Brandon's deck list from Chicago. He topped this. I'm not sure how many people were in this OTS in particular. However, it was a very big one, since it was Chicago, very competitive area. So I wanted to go over this list in particular because this first because the sizable nature of the OTS, and then also just the list. It's a very good list, and it's also a very unique list. So we have 3 Nibiru, also 3 Nibiru, 2 Ash, so as the only hand traps in the deck. And I think, honestly, all things considered, Nibiru is the best hand trap right now, and it's one of those things that you kind of need to combine with another hand trap. So running the Ash makes sense in that context. Also, the fact is he does run the cross out on the side, so that makes sense. Then we have the ad libitum with the gimmick puppet with 1 Quem, so that always made sense to me, because if you only run 1 Quem, I feel like running the ad lib is totally just fine. And then we have the Spriggan's kit. This is 44 card main deck, by the way, so we're keeping it around that 45 card range that I always recommend. And we do have the Spriggan's kit. We aren't running High Spirit, but I think kit's also one of those nice options where you can just like put it on your board to search out the lost, to complete an end board, to do uninterrupted gimmick locks. So I never hate on running kit, honestly, especially when Droll is kind of getting out of the format now. And then, of course, we do have Mercurial Tragedy. Not too much to say about that. 3 Alvaz, 3 Aluber. I've been seeing a lot of people recommend 2 Aluber lately. There's no list in here with 2 Aluber. There might be 1 or 2. It's just not something I'd ever recommend personally. I mean, you can, but if you're running like 40, but you have to be careful with deck building, guys. Spells and traps are really standard outside of the 3 talents. We're actually running 3 talents in the main for our anti-Ash. This is interesting, not doing cross out over the talents. However, it ended up working for him. He liked it. And the talents, I feel like it's actually one of the best cards in the game right now, because of the fact that everyone's on hand trap, so it's very easy to board break with this card. A non-targeting take is really good, because you have to force your opponent's interactions when you go talents to take, and they have like an Apo on board or something, or like a Baron, or all these other things. So I'm a huge advocate of talents this set. I don't see a thrust. I would be running thrust on top of that, but especially when you have the Blazing Branded King, which he said was amazing. I actually won one of his games against a Flu player, I believe. Blazing Branded King being amazing. Nenka, Mivolo, sorry if I just butchered your name, brother, but join the Discord and you can post your deck list under the deck list in the general chat, and I will go over it. I'm going to be going into the Discord deck list once I finish off the Facebook deck list I was sent, So if you send a Discord deck list, it will be towards the tail end of me going over things. So yeah, I really do like the Blazing Branded King. This is something actually on a local level actually makes a lot of sense. And there weren't a lot of people running this weekend. I think this might be the only person, to be honest. However, I think I gotta turn down the music. It's really good. It gets around droplet, which is like something you will see a lot on a localized level, because it outs your sanctifier. So it's something that gets over the things that get over your board, and it also is another omni negate, frankly, since it just negates the whole board. It also recurs itself, so it's not bad at all, and it's in the main. That's why I'm saying if you main deck thrust, it could be a thrust target too. And then we have the extra deck, really standard. I mean, 2 Mirror Jade, the main deck Masquerade, 1 Grand Guignol. I've been seeing a lot of Masquerade. I've seen a lot of people say like they miss Masquerade too, so I definitely see why like you'd be running Masquerade and all that. Yeah, where can I send you my list on Facebook? I mean, you could send it to me on Facebook if you find one of my posts and brand Despia, but I just joined the Discord, brother, and send it to me on the deck list tab in my Discord. It's like the easiest way to do it. And then we got the side deck of 1 Magnuma. I think Magnuma's like really good right now. I think you should probably be running Magnuma if you're doing then the 3 Droll, 3 Droplet, 2 Twin Twister, 3 Crossout, and 2 Evenly. Crossout in the side, since you do have the Ash package, which I don't see imperms. I feel like that might be incorrect, but that is just, it worked out for him. And then you do have the Twin Twisters over the Cosmics, which is always interesting, because if he has the Sanctuary up, it's still an issue, but it does cover more ground that way against other decks, and you do have the Feather Duster, so it makes sense. Very good list from Brandon. And now we have Henrik Ribeiro. I managed to get first at my OTS with this. I'm trying to see if, yeah, no. So his list is actually really cool because, as you guys can see, he ran the shaddoll package in the main deck, which is like, this is probably the spiciest list we got from over the weekend, I'm not gonna lie. So what do you guys think of this list offhand? Because you even see some spice in the side. So he said it was a smaller OTS, to be fair. I think like about 20 or so people, but you know, we have 2 Albaz in the main deck, 1 Albion. How's it going, Jake the Mount Man? Nice to see you. We have 3 Aluber, 1 Bestial Saranir. We have 1 Despian Tragedy, 1 Lubellion, 1 Quem, 1 Adlib. Makes sense. This is really standard. I mean, I would be running 3 Albaz, but maybe it makes sense in a build like this where you're also main decking Nell, Shaddoll, Ariel, and Dragon with no other names. But we do have the main deck Shaddoll Fusion alongside all the other branded spell and trap cards, the classic 9. On top of duplication still. And we run 3 talents, no thrust or crossout. We aren't on hand traps, so I guess that makes sense if you don't have the thrust. And honestly, talents like where are you thrusting out in this deck besides duplication? Just fine, that's sometimes the case with branded decks. I do like the Shaddoll Fusion. He said the Shaddoll Fusions in the main were really nice, actually. So I did want to showcase this deck from Henrik. Very, very solid list. It's a unique list, and then the chalices on top of the droplets, he said was really like there for like kind of like the rogue matchups, and then obviously just for chaining on Flameberg and stuff like that. So it's a cool list. It's a unique list. I mean, you see Shaddoll Fusion as a thing that's like in other people's decks, side decks, but not in the main deck. So this is something different. And then we do have the side deck, the puppet in the side. He said he sided the puppet because it was a brick going second, which is fair. Also, he is maining the Winda, which is cool to see. Very summonable with the Alba Lindatus. Maybe he saw like some Dragon Link locally. And we do have this thing. I'm not sure what this thing is. Someone might be able to tell me in the chat. It's Nell Shaddoll Genius, I think that said. I'm not sure. But we do have 3 Droll and Lockbird on top of 3 Ash with the 2 Nibiru and then 3 Evenly and 1 Masquerade for a really solid list and really unique list too. So I appreciate it. It kind of is budget imperm. It is an interesting tech. I'm not sure why you would run it why you wouldn't run imperm over it, to be honest. But you know, shout out to Henrik. And then we have Sean Beetle right here. I got second in OTS event this weekend with branded bestial. Let's zoom this one in. So he got second at his OTS event. I'm not sure what this OTS was, but 3 Fallen of Albaz. Really standard list it looks like so far, but we do have the Dark Magician. I've been seeing that somewhat creep back into decks just on a local level, because you do see like bestials, and then obviously Lab is still on the corners, and if you want to trivialize that matchup, I think you run the Dragoon. You do have the Adlib and the Puppet, and then the Nadir Servants, and we do have the Thrust package with the Talents and Dupe, so that's pretty standard. I do just like the Dragoon in this list. You do have the side deck crossout package for even more anti-ash. You know, just like outs, and then we do have the Cosmics and the one evenly for the thrust target, and then of course we do have the Crow too for just like covering our general basis, and also just like probably pairs well into fire. Yep, I'll definitely record it. So now we have Martin, Alberto, Faccio, top 4, OTS, Saltillo. And this is an interesting list because he does side the shifter. This is actually basically like an Andre Torres list. I don't think Andre Torres was maining the shifter though, so it's a cool list. We do got the 3 Aluber, 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem, 2 Albion at 45. I guess that's okay. 2 Ajin Chains, and then Branded Fusion. Really standard cards. We do have the Thrust package, but we also do have the Patchwork engine. So the Patchwork engine is good for going second. It also allows you to go Magnum the Reliever. Always have like a recurrable poly. This does also solve your lab matchup, so it also just like helps you going second a lot, so it makes sense why you don't run Droplet in this build. You know, and then you do have the 2 Brand High Spirits with the 2 Albion, so I guess that makes sense. And then obviously the Egypt Chains are targets as well. So, and you do have the main deck evenly, so very interesting list with the Magnum and then the Masquerade, which is cool. And then the side deck, you have Mistaken Rest, so yeah, it's definitely like an Andre Torres list, but then you do have the Shifter. He said, our end board, it depends on the opponent's deck. There are 2 easy ways to end on Shifter, Masquerade plus Stapelia, or Masquerade plus Brinbrum. So if you guys want some tips on like what you want to be doing with Shifter, I think that that is definitely something to do. I'm going to be making a video on Shifter and Branded actually pretty soon, and just like talking about our best end boards and like what to do, because I've been seeing that card like crop up a lot more in Branded decks. People are like wondering what you do with it, frankly. He got top 8, went 5-0 in Swiss, I believe. I'm trying to translate this. But he faced TEARLAMENT Horus, Goblins, Anti-Meta, Flunder, Snake Eyes, and then lost to Anti-Meta in top 8. So I presume that's like more of a stun deck, kind of like the Asian Persuasion deck, which we have a pretty bad matchup against, all things considered. This is a cool list, actually. You have Chaos Creator in the main, which is something I've never seen in a Branded list. Chaos Creator is one of those newer cards, one of those newer Chaos cards that kind of, you know, could synergize with their decks. You just kind of need some lights and darks, and which you run only of, and then you do run the 1 Allure with 2 Mercurier. That seems interesting to say the least. I'm not sure if I'd ever run just 1 Allure, but maybe you just had a nice ulti Allure that you wanted to throw in. But I mean, I guess the double Mercurier would make sense if you ran like a little bit more Allure, but you don't. But you do have the Regain, which is cool, and you do have the Despian Theater, which is cool. Just another way to play around hand traps if you do get ashed or impermed. But you know, you don't run the Masquerade in the main, so which is like what you kind of want to make off of that most of the time, I feel like. And then you do have the Brand White, which is cool, and the Brand Regained. I would like to know how that did, because in this list you do have 2 Bestials. I feel like Brand Regained is one of those cards you want to run if you run more Bestials. If not, it's kind of like whatever. You got top 8 OTS with 96 people. Yeah, hell yeah. Looking forward to checking it out. Genius is an imperm on dump. Oh, okay. So that's why you were running Shaddoll Genius in the last list. That makes sense. Thanks for the clarification. This list also is running Branded Blade, or Branded Sword, which is a card you haven't seen much of, but you see a lot in the OCG, actually. So it's something that maybe we could start running, or, I've considered, I've, like, read the card, I'm like, I'm not sure what exactly this is doing for us right now that we don't already have, but certainly an option that worked out for him. I'm curious to see, how it worked out for him. And then in the side deck, also the thrust package side deck, there you have Shifter, the Shaddoll guy again, to pop or to imperm on dump, and then the which is cool. I guess I have to pick one of those up for the Shaddoll Ariel package. The package is a little bigger than you thought, and then the op clone. A lot of side deck cards, obviously a time card right here with the Performapal card, and then this card right here, five-headed magician essentially. This is a good out for just like certain decks, and then super heavy and other things really rely on monster effects, and then Dark Ruler and Shaddoll Fusion, and you are running the Lulu. So, and the Sprind, which is cool. Sprind is cool for spot removal. It's something that I haven't seen too much of, but I feel like might actually come back into season a little bit, because Sprind is one of our only in-house ways of removal. What do you guys think of the Chaos Creator though? Like, what is the synergy there? This is a 49 card list by Miguel D. Lara, top 8 of the OTS. Then we have Aaron Jackson got 8th in OTS. His matchups with this list, I can read his matchups right here. So one against Sky Striker, one against Red Dragon RDA, I presume. The Red Dragon Archfiend deck, and then Cash lost, not enough resources. Puppet Lock game 2, game 3 playthrough 2 evenly, then Cosmic Dam. For King Snake Eye lost. Dimorphia win. Nib came up once, didn't do much. Didn't see Droll. Cosmic was good. Bestial is good against Striker. Thrust for once. Triple Tactics Thrust. Draw 2. Not bad. Droplet was good most of the time. He didn't have the monster to discard when I needed it most. Every time I use Super Poly, I won, except Cash isn't great against Cash. Yeah, that's what I've been telling people. It's still like, Super Poly is like still one of the best options in Branded, in my opinion. So, it's something that I don't think you can necessarily cut. It covers all your rogue matchups. It also is very good against Snake Eye, because you just make a Mud Dragon call fire, and then they can't make their Promethean Princess. Like, whenever I see Super Poly, I'm chilling against a fire deck usually. Obviously, they can play around it, but they eventually have to play into it. So, this is 43 card list. You do run the Dragoon 3 out. No main deck puppet, no side deck puppet. Interesting. That's the first one so far, but you are running the Nadir with Adlib, which shows you guys you can run Nadir without puppet. It still helps you set up like triple Mirror Jade quite easily, And then you do have the Droplet, which he said were okay, and the Super Poly was insane with 1 Thrust, 1 Talents. I feel like he would be running more if maybe he had more. That's just like what that usually says to me when you only have 1 Thrust in the deck. Which is fair. I'd still be running it at 1, but he has no duplication for that reason, which is fair. It's just like a 1 of to like kind of go second. I would still probably be running the duplication at that point, because if you draw Thrust going first, it's so dead. Especially with no Imperm. But that's just me, and then you do have the Dragoon and 1 Guignol, 2 Mirror Jade, and 1 Lulu. With the Super Poly targets and the Nibiru and the side, Nibiru said was okay. Droll didn't see, but like Droll's one of those cards that you kind of want. Oh, there is a puppet. My bad. I'm blind. Right next to the Adlib, there is a puppet, so that totally makes sense. Ignore what I said about that. And then we do have the Bestials. Are you guys back on Bestials? So, yeah, I like this list a lot. The Nenka, there was a line in the old Branded where you could go Chainlink 1, Albion, Chainlink 2, Lost, Search Merc, Bash Merc, and Albaz, and then Lube into Mirror Jade, Merc, Search, Shrouded Dragon, Dump Sword, grab back Merc just to establish. Oh, that's probably why. That's probably why. I appreciate that, Nenka, because like, yeah, Brand Sword is one of those cards I don't understand. I started playing Branded after Kikalos got banned. So like some of those old like branded cards like Theater, I just don't see the lines. That's why I'm not a big fan of Adlib either. I just like, I came into the deck when Puppet became a thing. I'm like, this is just better than Adlib. But I still respect Adlib. I still think it's a good thing in the deck. I just always draw it, and it's always a brick because of that. My deck building philosophy is to try to keep things as consistent as possible. And Wild TV, how's it going? How's it going? Appreciate you, Pawn Boy, and Scarm Effect letting me know about the Puppet. Nenka, could you go over my list? If not, it's no problem. We got work tomorrow morning. Got to go sleep soon. Want to see what you think about my list. Yeah, I'll check that out right now. Thoughts on ratio of potential bricks? I have a hard time running all 4: Adlib, Puppet, Maximus, and Dark Magician. Totally agree. Those are like some of your biggest bricks that are kind of like quote-unquote optional. So in my opinion, running only 2 of those, 2 of 4 of your bricks, that's like a good concept, you know, to talk about in the future. You know, running 2 of the 4 is good. If you run 4 of 4, that's like way too much. 3 of 4 is like doable, if, in my opinion, if you run like 45 plus. Algem, okay, cool. So it's this list. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm already getting a sore throat. Why does this happen every time, guys? Alright. So, we got Nenka's list here. You went top 8 at a 96-person OTS. That's a huge OTS, brother. I'm curious, where was your OTS? That's a huge one. I thought Buffalo or Rochester was the only place that got those big of OTSs sometimes. So yeah, we have 3 Albaz, 3 Aluber. I like it. 1 Tragedy, 1 Adlib with the Puppet. Like I said, guys, I think running 1 Adlib plus 1 Quem is a pretty good ratio. If you run 2 Quem, 1 Adlib, I think that's a bit too much. They serve the same purpose. So running the 1 and the 1 is understandable. And then we do have the Dark Magician. I'm curious. Tell me, Nenka, how did you like the Dark Magician? I've been seeing a lot more Dark Magicians creep back into the meta this weekend. That's like the biggest trend I've seen so far by far. I think, you know, I predicted it last week because of the bestials coming back in with Las Vegas, YCS Las Vegas, that we might actually want to start running Dragoon again. Like, if there's enough bestials, like, bestials are an issue for us, guys. And Dragoon trivializes that, and on top of that, it trivializes a lot of our bad matchups, like against Labyrinth, and it also helps a lot against Purrely. So, it was in Belgrade, Serbia. Nice. I wonder, do you know Nightfall then? Because I feel like, I know there's like a lot of East European branded players are just nuts at this game, so glad to see more. I like this list so far. Yeah, no, I have to ask you how you like the Dark Magician. I love the list. Adlib helped going first, says Nenka. This is his list, obviously. Adlib helped going first when I didn't establish Puppet. That makes sense. That's also something I've thought of, like, but that's something I've worried of if I don't establish Puppet, how I'm getting to Adlib, but you still made it work, obviously. And going second, round 1 versus Pure, Snake Eye game 2 broke the whole board without Super Poly. Really? If you want to get into how you did that too, I'm curious, especially without Forbidden Droplet. Because Droplet's like a card that trivializes that matchup for me. I don't see the Droplet in your deck, but it looks like you still have the Jeweler. So I'm sure it worked. Putting some numbing stuff on my tongue, so I can actually talk and not hurt my mouth. Thrust is too expensive, says Sumir. Anyone running Duality? I think Duality is just fine if you can't afford Thrust too. Something I always forget to mention. Thanks to Adlib. Okay, yeah, Adlib. Yeah, I was gonna say like tripling Mirror Jade sounds pretty good. And then you have the 3 Nadir. How did you like Nadir plus Maximus? I assumed you liked it. A lot of people, oh, they still ask me like, why are you on Nadir? Why are you on Nadir? It's bad going second. I'm like, bro, if you just like break a board and then go Nadir Servant, that's like game. And a lot of the time you can break a board, but you have to establish a lot of resources into that. And Nadir Servant just says 1 card gimmick lock. Nenka says, yeah, Drooler off thrust, cousin standby. You went Berg, summon IP, huge misplay. That's what they always do, brother, except for like really precise, like a Fire King duelist who knows you're a branded player who will be on thrust will not do that. But most, you know, fire players will end up doing that, and that's why thrust is just insane right now, especially in the game one's going second. Thrust search ruler was crazy. I was actually thinking about running a one of Drooler for thrust. I always loved Drooler in this deck, especially with evenly. So, does running droplet this format make sense? Says one guy. How's it going? That one guy. Yes, I really like it. I run in my list actually. I think it outs Snake Eye board pretty well, and then it outs like other rogue boards. Also, guys, 15 likes, almost 40 people watching. Let's leave a like on the stream, guys. Let's smash the like button, get to 20 likes. Join the membership, guys, if you guys want to get a hold of my coaching Discord channel. Get early deck list, all my early deck lists also, and you get to support the channel for $5 a month. You get those gimmick puppet emojis. If I have any members in the chat right now, let's see those gimmick puppets in the chat. Every list has had gimmick puppet, which kind of makes me worried, but like, I get it. Like it in my opinion, like, why not run it? But it's also such a good card that I could see it like definitely get banned. Next list with how many people are running it in their branded decks. Because before it was much more of a 50-50, and now it's just like every list has puppet in it. And Wild TV just sent my list. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Charles Boardman, how's it going? Haven't seen you in the chat before. Nice to see you. When playing 3 fusion dupe also be pretty good if you don't have thrust. The issue is it's pretty bad going second. Like, I just said Nadir's good going second, but Nadir does more than duplication. Nadir goes like +4. Duplication isn't necessarily a +4. And Nenka says that's exactly what happened round 1 versus pure Snake Eye. Broke the board, went Nadir. Nenka says only thing I didn't like about the deck was the side. Think I didn't make it as optimal as I wanted. Also, branded was represented so much out of 96 players. There was 15 branded. Wow. Yeah, that's nice. I assume too, like, was there a lot of fire in the room, or was there a lot of rogue in general? Because I know with OTSs, it's all over the place. But also, if you want to post your matchups too, I'd be interested in them. But yeah, no, I really like this, and let's check out the side deck because this is really cool. You have the Querdis. I feel like that's incorrect, but like I get it. Like when you have such a tight extra deck, which you made it work. Like with Dragoon, you have to make sacrifices with 2 Mirror Jades, so I get it. Where you're like, I don't want to cut Querdis. Like, you understand it's an important card, so I get having to side like a card you should be main decking when like you can't. It's like choosing your favorite child. So there are 7 fire decks. Fair enough. Adlib. How many did you face? Because I feel like we have a really good fire matchup, and it's cool to see you. So Adlib is another option to really like out the Snake Eyes board. That's cool. And then we have the side deck. We do have the Masquerade, of course, and then the 3 Drolls, 2 of the Radians. How did you like the Radians? What were they for? Like, I'm assuming Purrely, and like you just mentioned, Blackwing, the dude on Blackwing. I lost you, wrote it on disc. He went 6-0. Oh, did he post in my Discord? I'll go over that list too. Yeah, Blackwing's crazy, man. I faced a Blackwing player twice at my OTS. I won against him, but like, it's a tough game, and like, Dragoon helps a lot. I will say that Dragoon and Titanclad are your outs for most of their board. But sometimes it's really hard to even out their board. Like, it's almost impossible for you to out their board going second. So I get it. And the Radiance there, and then also the Herald, you were like, yeah, I'm not losing to Purrely, I'm not losing to Blackwing. And then we have the Blazing Branded King, and then the 1 Evenly, and then the 1 Feather Duster. I really like the list. Very solid list. There isn't much to say about the extra deck. It's very tight. You can't do anything about it. 44 card list. You'll love to see it. Maybe just like I'd recommend a Droplet or something. I do think Droplet's very strong right now. If you're not running Droplet in your deck, you might be missing out personally. But I know, like, depending on the deck building, you know, you don't necessarily need it. So, Charles says, unfortunately, Branded has 20 must play extra deck monsters in 15 slots. I get, yeah, basically. Why is my thing lagging? Okay. Well, I'm going to show off this camera and then pretend it's... Why is it... Is it lagging on your guys' end? Yeah, it is. Technical difficulties, y'all. There we go. Oh no, it's still lagging. Oh well. Well, we're going to this one. to my extra webcam. Give me 1 second, guys. We're just gonna turn this around and then we're gonna go on to the next list. Very cool list though. I really do like this list by Nenka. The only person next to 40 people watching right now, guys. Really do appreciate y'all. Make sure to smash that like button. We are at 20 likes now. Really do appreciate it. Nenka, round 1 was pure snake eye. Round 2 win. Both of them were wins. Round 2 and 1, and round 2 was against Midadium. Round 3 against Blackwing, loss. Round 4 against Dinos, win. Round 4 against round 5 against Bird, loss, and then round 6 against Trap Tricks, W. Versus Blackwing, haven't seen Super Poly or a single side deck card. That's really unfortunate. It sounds like you got really unlucky, because like overall I think we have actually a pretty decent Blackwing matchup as long as you're running Dragoon and Titan Clad. Was the only person top cut with X2. I was lucky, but yeah, that's okay. It happens. That's Yu-Gi-Oh. Spookwagging the Droplet and Poly in the main go so hard. I completely agree. But of course you need to, like, you know, make sacrifices when you're running all of those. Like, I usually only run board breakers, and, you know, running Nib and board breakers is certainly a play. Nenka, Bormis, so true, dude. Angra, what's up? How's it going, Angra? Nice to see you in the chat again. Another chat regular. I'm not on Discord, but I'll link you. Here the deck list I used to get first place at the OTS. 6-0, 47 people. Yo, how's it going, Angra? Let's go. Congratulations. First place, 47 people. That honestly good. That's fucking awesome. 47 people faced 4 Shank Eyes, Snake Eyes, Fire King, 1 Flu, 1 Rika, Horus. What? Puppet used 3 times only. Wow. Yeah, please link me. I would love to go over it. Sounds like a killer list. Sub, how's it going? How good do you think the brand matchup versus Runic plus Archetype? It seems I cannot win against Runic. Any advice on that? It's definitely one of our harder matchups. You just have to make sure to have board breakers, like evenly in Dark Ruler. And Dark Ruler doesn't even do it against certain matchups. It's just like the Sprite Runic variants, like Bestials, obviously. It's harder. Dragoon helps a lot. Dragoon helps a lot in that matchup. Scott Paliosis, how good Brightest Blazing Branded King? How many duels did you use it in? Oh yeah, you are running this too. How did you like that? That's so we do have another list with Blazing High King. It's very good. It's one of your only outs for Forbidden Droplet and Called By. So it's also a thrust target. So glad you liked the list. Was really happy. Peace out, brother. Thanks for coming through the stream. Personally, think it's okay, but I think it's a fun of player preference if you want to play it. Yeah, I like it for locals kind of thing. Rika Horus, somebody cooking some mystery meat. Yeah, exactly, right? I'm like, what the heck are we talking about now? So, let's see. I already went over this list. We have, this is Sam's list. I think someone said he basically topped with Sam's list, so we can go over it quickly. This is Sam Zhang's list. Oh wait, no, this is not the one with exchange, so that's not the one he must have topped with. So, here is Kellium Finnegan's list. He got 3rd place at the Manchester OTS, finished X1 after 6 rounds, lost to eventual first place in round 5, got game loss for game 1 as DB fucked up and my deck list was missing 1 shaddoll fusion in the side. Won most rounds 2-0. Round 1 against Voiceless W. Round 2 against Plants W. Voiceless W. Sprite W. Purrely lost 1-2. That makes sense. It's one of our hardest matchups. And then Yeah, and then Snake Eye, and then yeah, no. And then so let's go over here to this list right here. Yeah, so this is a very pretty deck too. We have a bunch of starlights, holy crap. And very, very pretty mat too, one of the pyramids. Very, very cool look. Very cool mat. So we do have the two, wow, Starlight Cartesia, Starlight Quem, ulti, super polys with the nadirs. I mean, this is a very standard list, I feel like, just minus the, there's no, forbidden droplets, so. And then we do have a spicy extra deck, or side deck with the ghost ogres. I do wonder how you like the ghost ogres with the shaddolls. Do have the Jinzo plus the zombie world, so my man was not losing against Flu or Lab, and then the Herald of the Abyss. Really, like, the side deck screams I'm covering all my bad matchups, and I'm not losing against my bad matchups, and I like that. That's what side deck's for. And then you do run the 3 Albion that in the main deck, which is the spiciest thing. You do have the 3 Brand High Spirit. Is a closer list, so running that with the Nadir, I feel like that's just fine. It might be something warranted to like discuss in the future to do. He also main decks the Winda and the App Cologne, which is insane. He found the room for them, honestly, for side deck cards, but he did. So not a bad list, not a bad list. I'm thinking about playing a 3rd Cartesia. Is that anything you can agree on? I just want to see that card in my hand every. I mean, I get it. It's a good card. I've heard that too from like Andre Torres multiple times. So I think that's fine to run 3. If you're running 3 though, I'd like run duality or something. But you don't need to, obviously. So this is a standard list, but it's a 41 card list that still manages to fit Thrust and Super Poly with 2 red. 2 red is cool because you have the triple Albion, so basically red is always live. I've actually debated on I've tested builds like this. I think if you're running 3 Albion, running 2 red is actually quite correct. So I like that about this list. It's 41, obviously. And then you have the 3 Phantasme in the side with the Bestials, 3 Cosmic, 1 Soul Release, 2 Triple Tactics Talents with the Evenly, and then the Duplication. You know, Talents plus Thrust is like FTK going second right now. So in my opinion, maxing out on the Talents with Thrust is actually quite nice. Then the extra deck is quite standard. He does have the Masquerade and the Double Mirror Jade. Not too much to say. It is a branded extra deck, folks. So this is Esteban Rodriguez's OTS list. It was a 40-person OTS, 30 or 40-person OTS. He said he couldn't remember. So definitely a sizable one. He did win this OTS though, so definitely got another first place list, guys. So this one's 43 with the Albion and 3, Aluber, and then one of each of the bestials, and then you have the standard ratios: 3 Albaz, 1 Quem. 1 Quem with no ad lib is a bit questionable, but you are at 43 cards, so like I think that's fine. You want to like cut down at that point. If you're running like 2 Quem, you might have too many normals. And then you have 3, obviously the brand spawn trap cards, but you do main a Dark Ruler no more, which is cool, and then Evenly too. I think Dark Ruler Evenly is one of the best combinations, and main decking them is just fine. Spookwagon, subscribe. Thanks for this subscription. Remember, guys, we do have channel memberships. Click on that join button if you want to join the channel for $5 a month and support it. Best way to support the channel. So then we have now the extra decks really bog standard. Don't really need to comment on that, but the side deck is very cool. Got 3 Nibiru, 3 Shifter. We've been seeing Shifter actually crop up a bit more with branded. Like I said, I'm gonna have to make an explainer video on Shifter just because some people are confused on like what boards to make with Shifter, and I think Shifter's okay in branded. I don't personally recommend it, but like it works. And you can play that game if you want. You just kind of take away from half of your strategy when you go Shifter. But that's why, like, when people Shifter me, it's not that bad too. Then you have 2 Bestials for, you know, the voiceless and branded matchups, of course, and then the 2 Cosmics. I feel like you might want to run 3, but at that point, but that's fine. And then one more Evenly, no more Dark Ruler though, and then 3 Summon Limit and Masquerade. I've heard mixed things on Summon Limit. Some people have were like summon limit was great. Some people were like summon limit it's bad. I think it's like the best floodgate right now that you can generally run in any deck, just because the fire decks play into it really well. So Mugen Fights, hello, can you do a branded deck profile for Master Duel? Well, I just want to say first, thanks for coming by the stream, Mugen. And second, I'd love to do a branded Master Duel stream / deck profile, but I don't have any cards on Master Duel or gems. So we'll do that one day. It's just gonna take money. And I don't got the money for Master Duel right now. Spookwagon, love the innovations here. Yeah, I do like this list too. So I've been actually personally recommending floodgates going first in the side. I think you need an option for when you get hand trapped or when you get like shifted or something. I mean, summon limit doesn't do a lot against shifter decks, but it still does. You know, it still does against flu. So I do like this list. And then we have Waldir Fako's list also got first place. So this is another first place. A shout out to Waldir here. 45 cards. He is running a hand trap package. However, he is not on crossouts, guys. He is on triple tactics with Nadir, which I think they're just better cards than crossout, so I can see why you're running that over crossout. He doesn't even have crossout in the side. He does have some interesting cards in the side, though. Really standard ratios. He is running the Blazing Ecclesia. Said that was very good for making the Albaz on my opponent's turn, on his opponent's turn. And then we have Dogmatica Maximus with the Nadir, obviously. We are not main decking the Puppet, guys. The first non-Puppet deck. We did it, guys. We did it. Let's get some Puppets in the chat. We finally found a list without Puppet. And honestly, I've always been the person to say if Puppet gets banned, Puppet took a bullet for Branded. If Branded Fusion stays at 3 and Puppet is the only thing that gets hit, we are big chilling. The deck just gets a little bit harder to play. Literally, that's just all that happens. The ceiling is still there. Mugen Fights. Oh, I can send you some gems. I love your content, though. Branded deck is something like 14 UR. Yeah, 1400 UR. That's the thing. Like, it is a lot of UR. I do think that, I do appreciate the offer. I mean, if you want to DM me on Discord, I'm always down, just because I've been asked multiple times to make Master Duel content, and it's been frustrating because I don't have the money for Master Duel. It's an expensive thing, to keep up with Master Duel. I've just, last time I played Master Duel, I wasn't playing Branded. I was playing Tearlament, and I dismantled all my UR dust trying to make Branded. I made a couple URs, but like I have like 7. So yeah, we'll get there eventually, guys. We will make Master Duel content eventually. It just comes with me getting the deck over time. Like maybe we'll do some like streams where I'm like, hey, I'll do this if you donate to get me gems for this deck or something. Make it fun for everybody or something. I don't know. Because I know it's something you guys also want to see me do. But yeah, this is a cool list with the hand trap package. I've always said, guys, hand traps are fine and Branded. You just have to deck build correctly, and I think this guy did. He got first place. Waldir here. He has board breakers on top of hand traps. I do like Imperm Ash. I still think they are the best hand traps. I mean, maybe you could take out the Ash for the Nibiru, in my opinion, though. Because I think Nibiru doesn't punish you as much, but as Ash does, but Ash does cover your bad matchups, and when you're on OTS, you have to consider those things. So, you know, when you're going to an OTS, or when you're going to any tournament, this is just advice for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. You want to make sure that you're preparing for the local meta. Basically, any tournament that is below a YCS level will have local metas. That's why they're called regionals or OTSs, because they are these regionalized Yu-Gi-Oh events, and Yu-Gi-Oh, believe it or not, has different metas depending on what part of the world you're in. This is for different reasons, you know, socioeconomic reasons, and then just also what people like to play, you know, and just like what, you know, what competitive players are and what city and influence people to play what deck kind of thing. So you'll see localized metas, obviously, and then just like localized metas. Like I bring Puppet to my locals, and when I was going to like 3 locals a week for like a year, as you guys OG MetaGamesGX subscribers know, a lot of people just started maining bestials and forbidden droplet because they knew I was coming to the locals. So I had to start mating like Dragoon and stuff like that. So in duality, I started making duality as like the out for that, and like that got around that issue for a while. So definitely just like, you know, prepare for your localized meta, and it's one of those important things. You do see Xyz Encore here, so my man was like, I'm not losing to Purrely. He probably saw a very good Purrely player that he knew wasn't going to be there, and he's like, I have those Xyz Encores on deck, and he got first place, so worked out for him. Does have the Forbidden Droplet in the side deck, obviously, too, with the Dragoon. I've been seeing a couple sided Dragoons. I get it. I would just mate at that point, because you could just cut the Sprine. Like, Sprine is very cuttable here, and, like, I get not wanting to have the Dark Magician in the main, but also, like, in the side, it's just, like, why? But it's still a very good list. Let's talk to chat here for a second. Rego Productions, how's it going? Part of me still believes a 40 card is mandatory for this deck. I'm just trying to tinker with the ratios. Why do you think 40 cards is mandatory? Because, like, with Branded, if you clump, that could be the end of it. If you draw, like, 2 Alubers, 2 Branded Fusions in your hand all the time, which can happen a lot at 40 cards, you just lose. So that's why I think, like, 45 is actually the sweet spot. You get to end up including a lot of your other options, because Branded has a lot, like 30 mandatory cards. So like stopping at 40 kind of like limits your options overall. But I get it. Like having 40 cards is nice, but I think if you've been here the whole time, you've seen a lot of these, all these lists were above 40 cards. I think there was 1 or 2 40 card lists. So I think the deck is definitely fine to, you know, to experiment above 40 cards. Angra says Ido is still a great card. I wish I had an Ido. That's something on my card wish list I'm going to work on getting. I think Ido is actually quite good in your side deck right now. Just as a second puppet for going first, and then also against Flu, specifically. Cianti YGO puppet feels kind of bad, though, TBH. When I play my list, at least, I only need puppet once ever. I think the engine's strong enough to play anyways. See, that's the thing. I think Puppet sometimes is win more, but, like, it does just say win the game, so that's why I still recommend to run it. But, like, Branded has high of it's a good enough deck where, like, when Branded Fusion's at 3, you don't need Puppet to win. Like, you can still loot Mirror Jade 3 times and play your other fusions and still do your thing and still win against most of the decks. And you aren't, without getting rid of your ceiling. I just think Puppet's correct because it trivializes your game ones against fire decks, which otherwise can be very grindy. And I think it's been correct for the other formats too, frankly. It's just like, it says auto win. But like, I get it, especially if you want to side it. I just like, I question the lists that don't even run it because going first is just so free. Card limits, says Shink Yojin is going to be a UR, which is fine. I have 2200 UR craft. That's crazy, bro. I mean, you do play the game a bit more, so that makes sense. Well, dear Falco, there were so many Branded in the tournament. All the puppet, I was the only who got top it with no puppet. Yeah, no, I actually respect I respect lists that don't run puppet. So I have to add, oh, what's up, Waldir? This is actually Waldir's list here. I really do like your list. So how did you, where did the idea from the Xyz Encores come from? I'm actually very surprised on that. And did you end up like it? I know you said you like the Blazing Ecclesia. I think you commented a couple things here. I'll have to go through your comments here. So it's 27 people, 5 rounds of Swiss, top 8. Incredible Ecclesia was awesome. You can turn into Albaz anytime on your opponent's turn. This is very strong. Basically, you activate Nadir, send Ash Dragon in the Synchron, special summon Quem. I think you mean Lulu, and then Incredible Ecclesia, send Cartesia, add Cartesia, and then you already have Albaz discard, so you can special summon Cartesia. After Albaz resolve, and then you have one more fusion. The hand traps are very good. I put the more generic ones since I expected other decks, not just fire. There's so many mirrors as well. They're good in. Yeah, that's actually a really good point against mirrors. Like having impermanent Ash, it basically just solves your mirror. Crossout's also an option for that. Since fire is the easiest matchup, Xyz Encore is just for Purrely because it's the worst matchup. That makes sense. Did you play any Purrely? I'm curious. Droll for Flunder, that makes sense. Random combo decks like Vanadium, Dragoon on the side for shifter decks, since it's the best play that when they shifter, you completely agree. Dragoon is our best play under shifter. Also no puppet because it's a brick going second and first. If you play enough, like when you do the lock, you don't need it to win since you have a ton of resources. Totally makes sense. I really do like your list, Walter, and I appreciate you sharing it with the channel. Brandon mostly loses stash. I can deal with brick hands. That's true. Grumpster, I feel like puppet is good, but forces a lot of one-dimensionality to the deck, even if resolving it is free. I agree, and that's why I think you have to sub dynamic gimmick locks, where if you can't guarantee an uninterrupted gimmick lock with a bunch of gas, you should like sub a gimmick lock with like, you know, you still have a red in the pocket with a Quem and Cartesia to loop Mirror Jade at least, you know, because usually that's enough because they've wasted a card on outing the puppet. I don't like setting up gimmick locks where it's the only thing you do that hand. Waldir Faco says I hate purrely. That's it. Totally fair. Spookwagon, honestly in this meta we need unfair cards to combat all the hand traps, wars, one card combos. Completely agree. Jordan Beffington, what do you think of 60 card build? I like 60 card builds. I wouldn't run one personally, and also I think running 60 cards means that you don't draw branded fusion in your opening hands, which I think is an issue. So that's why I don't advocate for 60 card builds, but also like obviously they work and you get to fit in everything. There's the plus of that. You get to fit in all your options. And the deck can usually just like churn through its engine to where 60 cards, it doesn't feel like 60 cards. I think the issue just runs in when you're not seeing your like super polys, droplets, and frost and brand fusion running less cards. You know, obviously guarantees that you see those in your hand more. All right, so we're gonna go over the Discord OTS deck list now. So we have a bunch of those. So we're going over the OTS ones. So Portal Spirit got top 8. Brandon Despia out of 42 people. What's up, Portal Spirit? I wonder if you're still here, brother. So 43 card list. You're running 3 Nadir with the ad lib and the puppet. Very nice. With the thrust package. Super poly with the dupe. Very similar to the one list that we saw, except you're running the double Quem, which I love to see. How did you like the double Quem with the ad lib? I do have to wonder. Waldir Faco says my only tournament loss was to the purrely, unfortunately. Well, I mean, you came prepared for it, brother. That's for sure. Oh, I like this list. How did you like the lightning storms? I'm quite curious. You do have the evenlies with the cosmics and the crows. I'm just wondering, I do see crows in a lot of people's decks, and I get it. However, I think that there are way better options. Like Magnamut gets us a card, and then also like obviously it's good against fire. I just think you're also playing into talents a bit too much with it, just for like the payoff it's giving you. It's not worth it, but I get it. For me, 40 to 45 is the sweet spot. Agreed. So yeah, I do like this list by Portal Spirit though. Do run the Maximus. So this is Tito's list. Hello, I know people are interested in deck lists at the top, so this is the deck list I played to get second at an OTS championship today. And this is a 60 card list, guys, so the people who want to see 60 card lists, we do have this one now. So this is one hell of a list. We have 3 Albion with 1 Adlib with the main deck Droll with 3 Sarniers. When you're running 3 branded and high spirits, I could see why you're running 3 Sarnier, but you also have the regained with branded and white, and you even run the bestial Luber for synchro plays. So we see the Dissipator and the SP Little Knight, which is actually very cool. I haven't seen people run SP too much outside of Yuri Diaz trying out in his branded build, but you're actually, you know, you're saying in the game, because you realize in the grind games you're going to have to, you know, there's going to be some instances where you can synchro summon, especially those bestials, providing a really nice grind game. I can see why in the 60 card build you actually add a slight bestial synchro engine in there. Very unique. I like this build a lot actually so far. I kind of want to play it. Droll Nib and no Ash with Imperm and Droplets with 2 talents, no thrust. Definitely a very unique list. You're also on the double Mercurier, and like I said, the 3 triple branded high spirits. You're running so many dragons. You're running triple Albion, triple Saranir. That's full combo if you see any of those with high spirits, so not bad. I like this list. I think Regain could go hard in a list like this. However, I would just worry about drawing like 2 Saranir. I've just like drawing double Saranir is like not fun. Oh, what's up, Tito? How's it going? Appreciate you, brother. It's a really cool list, actually. So I'm glad you're here. So you're not playing Thrust because I can't afford it. That's totally fair. Also, you're not running Guardian Chimera. Wow, that's actually something. Or oh no, you are, but it just never came up. That's understandable. That Guardian Chimera is one of those cards where like some tournaments you don't even make it. But I think it's important to have it there because it's your only form of spot removal. So not having it really gimps your game plan against certain decks. How did you like the 60 cards though? Did these ratios work out? Like, did you like the triple Saranir? Because Saranir is a really good card, especially with the triple Queb and triple Cartesia. I think you can make really good use out of the triple Saranir. You do have the triple Lubellion too. I'm quite curious about that, because that might be a bit too much, but like also Lubellion's just a broken card, so I get it. You're basically playing Bestial Synchro branded, but like you're leaning into the branded side a lot more. You still have the puppet, still have the standard plays, obviously. It just gives your deck a lot better of a grind game. It's a very unique list. I like it a lot, brother. I've been thinking of cutting Chimera for something like Spheres or a Proskinion. Oh, a Spheres. That's cool, brother. Oh my gosh, running a Seals in there would be cool, wouldn't it? Honestly, I love the 60 cards. I really only lost most games to my misplays. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a harder version to play of the deck because you do have synchro plays to think about. Are there any changes you would make to the main deck? I'm actually curious. I'm going to play this build. I'm going to try this build at some point. It seems like a very fun build. I like the fact you get SP Low Knight and the Dissipator access. You also have the Boral. Like, I like the fact that Bestials are there as like a second game plan kind of thing. Lubellion is good for having multiple Suns off of Saranir. That makes sense. And then no Ash, obviously, but you do have it in the side. So you do have the side deck of Effect Veiler, Ash. How did you end up liking hand traps? I think running the combination of hand traps and board breakers actually makes sense in a 60 card build. I think that's what I was alluding to before, if you guys were paying attention. Like, if you are playing hand traps, you have to deck build correctly. If you're running a shorter build, you kind of like keep it to just hand traps and then make sure your engine is in correct order. And then also, if you're going above 45 cards, you can definitely just like run hand traps and board breakers and just be fine. So yeah, you do have the shaddoll package too. I'm curious what you thought about that. That's something I've been seeing a lot over this weekend. It's just a 6-card package, though. It's so meaty, but it's already good in our deck, so I get it. Very cool deck, Tito. I appreciate you sharing your deck list. Hand traps are very nice, he says. Regio Productions. I'm hesitant to run Lubellion since, you know, droll when you're not supposed to. Yeah, I think most hands, though, you don't need Lubellion search to, like, to get there. So like Lubellion isn't the thing usually making you play into droll, and by the time you search off Lubellion, usually droll isn't relevant. But I get it, especially at 3. Like, that could be an issue. Tito says if I cut Chimera, I would also cut Adlib and some other cards to play more hand traps or bestials. Fair enough, fair enough. And so from Tito, my man Tito is a clear-cut case of the fact that just branded depends a lot on your deck building and piloting ability. So like you can run whatever build you want, just make sure you have a game plan like Tito did, you know, and you're gonna do just fine. He said, you know, he would be running Thrust over the talents if he could, but I do think this is a very solid list outside. You know, that's really the only thing I would do is running the Thrust over that. So we have Jouou's top 4 OTS championship at the Wiry store in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Shout out to the Dominican Republic. So we have 2 Blazing Cartesia. We do have the 1 Quem. No Adlib, but we do have the Mercurier. No Allure of Darknesses. I'm surprised, honestly. Because we saw Sam Zhang on it at YCS Vegas. I thought we might actually see a bit more Allure of Darknesses, guys, but have not seen any Allures. Are any of you guys on Allure right now? I was testing Allure for a bit. I just think we need a bit too... it's not great right now. TLDR, I don't think it's great right now in our deck. Even, like, without Joou really just being in our face. I like this list. You have the 1 talents with 3 thrusts with the super polys. No, you do have droplets, so... with the 2 Tri-Brigade Mercurier, what did you think of the double Tri-Brigade Mercurier? I am definitely interested in that because we've been seeing a lot of double Mercurier builds tonight without the... a lot of double Mercurier builds without Allure of Darkness, which to me on its face doesn't make necessarily a lot of sense. Oh, sorry, I have to get this build up in the browser. And then side deck here, we have the triple Ghost Spell. I think Ghost Spell is actually a better like, if you're gonna run Crow, I think Ghost Spell is just kind of a better option because it covers your lab matchup a lot better. It also covers your branded matchup pretty okay. Obviously, Crow is good against branded too, so it's like teach their own. I just think that Bell's also good against fire, and you don't get heated on it. So, and then you do have the Evenly. I still think Evenly is one of the best board breakers right now. A lot of the Fire King decks do not set spell and trap card negates, so Evenly match will usually get you there. And then Cosmic Cyclone obviously is one of the best just spell and trap card removals in the game right now. Your deck really struggles against it with all the anti-spells around. So then the Nibiru with the Bestials and the Branded Banishment. We've been seeing a couple Branded Banishments going around. I think Branded Banishment is a cool card. It's really good against the Mirror, and obviously the Mirror is starting to crop up more when we have our man's telling us 15 branded players, only 9 fire players at 90-person OTS, you know. This is a cool list, though. Shout out to Joou. And congrats on getting your invite. So, going to another list. We have No Lithic 321's top 4 OTS list from last week. He top 4'd last week, but still wanted to get him in here. Because it's still from an OTS. I guess, like I said, some countries had their OTS the week before last. So, congrats to No Lithic for getting his invite and top 4ing with this deck. I should have congratulated everyone. You know, obviously, congrats to everybody. I did mention this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm extremely proud of everybody. I got some very kind words, too. Just hearing that some of my videos helped a little bit was really nice, but most importantly, I was very happy to just see everybody getting their invite because I got my invite for the first time last year. I get it, you know, getting your, and even if you've gotten your invite already, it's like, cool. It's just nice to get your invite. And it's just really cool that Branded really killed it out this weekend. Branded is one of the best decks right now. So, you know, congrats to everybody. I'm really happy. I'm proud of all y'all. So, yeah, this is No Lithic's list. 42 card list with 3 Aluber. Here, I'm going to finish up chat and then we'll go into this list. The build never loses Droll. Yeah, especially when you had high spirits, you play around Droll very easily in the draw phase. Totally makes sense, Tito. Spookwagon, I think you can cut Chimera when you already have Furious Dragon in the extra deck. By the way, I heard Nesh talking about Desires being possible. Anyone got opinions or experiences on that? Yeah, so my friend Yuri Diaz, who also runs Branded, also runs POV Desires a lot. I think it's okay in our deck. I think it just, like I said, it comes down to deck building at the end of the day with Desires, and also just like, because you can bash a lot of your cards, so you most likely have to be on a 60 card build to be running Desires. But it's definitely possible in our deck. That's cool. Nesh was talking about it. Regio Production, I do agree with Bell. She and Ash solve Lab. Yep. And Lab is one of our worst matchups. Obviously, we have been off of Dragoon for a while, but, you know, we've been seeing tonight a lot of people back on Dragoon. So maybe if we see Lab obviously creep back into things, I recommend people start maining Dragoon again. I don't think we're necessarily at that point yet. But I do like this list. You only have 16 monsters, which is a lower monster count, but you still have the puppet with the Maximus. We love to see it. We love to see all these Nadirs. I'm glad people are starting to really like glam onto the Nadirs. It's just such a wild 1-card combo. It's a 1-card combo for Gimmick Puppet. Nadir Servant reads Gimmick Puppet on it, or it reads Branded Fusion, or Branded Fusion +2, or like Loop Mirror Jade. Like, Nadir Servant is a one-stop shop to achieving any combo in your brand Despia deck, even if you're going first or second. It completes your board. It can play through hand traps very easily. You get Ash on your brand diffusion. You go Nadir Servant. You're just chilling. You're gonna just gimmick lock just fine. You break a board, obviously. You spend all of your resources when you're running things like Droplet and Super Poly, and you have to discard for Lubellion. Well, you have Nadir Servant at the end of the day to recur everything and go +3 and set up your a board that secures your win. So I do like this list though. My man got top 4 with it. Do have the 2 talents with 3 thrust at 42. So that makes sense. When you're not running Droplet, I think running more talents, that makes more sense, because talents kind of achieves a similar goal of breaking a board. And then you do have the side deck or main deck. Oh, you have the Panzer Dragon. That's interesting. That is a Super Poly target. It's a Panzer Dragon. So that's a Super Poly target. Was my man playing Earth Machine a lot? I'm very curious why Panzer Dragon was there. I'll have to ask him. It's like a oh, it's a Nadir Servant target. It's a Nadir Servant target. You get to pop a card off a Nadir with it, I believe. Unless it has to go to the field from the graveyard, I forgot. You guys tell me in the chat. And then we have 3 Spooky Dogwood. First time we're seeing Spooky. Obviously, we have Masquerade or Spooky. You chose to run Spooky. I think Masquerade's a little bit better, but it gives you at least a chance to win going second when you are in time. You do have the Puppet, though. When you're running Puppet, I don't think time should necessarily be an issue for your deck is the thing. That's why I hesitate when I see, like, 3 Dogwood in the branded deck. I'm like, time probably should not be an issue, but obviously people take longer than others, and then also you have different local metas and such and so forth. And if you're playing Earth Machine all day, your games are going to go time. So I get it. Then the one Magnum I've been advocating for, with 2 Cosmic, with 1 Feather Duster, and then 1 Soul Release. Soul Release being a thrust target. I think that's totally fine. And then 3 Evenleys and 3 Kurikara. Kurikara is interesting. It is theoretically okay against fire decks, but the thing is it can also just heat it. And then also it gets over your Purrely matchup and also all these other, decks that step towers. So, like, I understand having the card in your deck. Like having some sort of Purrely out towers, especially like when you have that in your meta around you. So I think that's fine. All right, we got Sprite Cranberry, second place OTS list right here from my Discord. These are all Discord members, guys. Make sure to join the Discord if you have not already. The link is down below in the description. I'm going to link it in the chat right now for you guys, though, for your convenience. If you're not already in the Discord, go join it. We have a wonderful community brewing there. You get to post your deck list there, ask for help, also get updates to all my videos, and there's a trade section so you can make deals and trade for certain cards you're looking for. All trusted traders. Never had an issue on there. It's a really nice community we got going there. So, and also, guys, make sure to check out the TCG player affiliate link down below. We got 44 people watching right now. Be sure to leave a like on the video. 24 likes, 45 people watching. We can get to 30 likes. Very much would appreciate it. And then obviously click the join button to support the channel. You can always super chat as well if you'd like to support the channel. I gotta get up my... I completely forgot to get out my one thing. But that's fine. We're gonna go over this list in 1 second, though, guys, if you guys have any questions for me. In the meanwhile, I will answer them. Very cool list. You do have the Mass Change the Second in here, which is a card that we can use to go into Dark Law to skip Imperm. This is something I've been wanting to really test lately. I think it has actually a lot of validity, at least going first, like I said, to dodge Imperm, and then even going second, it's not bad, because if you just get Dark Law out there, that forces a lot on the Fire player board. At least Fire King. 50 card main deck, 2 Quem, 2 Albion, 2 Kurt. standard ratios until the 3 Nibiru, no other hand trap. 2 red, makes sense with the 2 Albion, 2 Quem, I guess, and then 2 high spirits. Maybe not enough dragons for 2 high spirits, but I get it. And then triple tactics talents, 3 thrust, 3 super poly, and 3 mass change. Very, very spicy list. I'd like to know how the mass change went. Very, very cool list. Right? Cranberry, and you do have the masquerade in the main with the dark law, and then the DG for the thrust target. Basically, shift your opponent on your opponent's turn. After they hand trap you off a thrust, it's very solid. And then the bestials, obviously, for something like voiceless or banishing the IP or branded, and then droplet. My man's never losing his mirror match. And then 3 cosmics and a Garura for the other super poly targets. Since he's not running Nadir, running the Garura in the side is actually probably just fine, since you don't need to send Garura for your draw one. Elsewise, Garura is kind of dead this format, depending. So we have over that, we have Grumpsters, came 2nd, 5th, and 2 seconds in the 5th branded Chimera deck profile. Played versus 7 Snake Eye, 4 Voiceless, 1 Raider Raptor, 1 Sprite, 1 Purrely, 1 Emancipator, 1 bye. Losses and draw were only to Snake Eye. Dropped 2 games, not matches, like 2 individual games within best of 3s. So most of these games were 2-0s. Versus not anything Snake Eye, including 2-0ing Purrely. Feels good, man. Very solid list, then. How are you liking Brand Chimera? Because I feel like Brand Chimera kind of fell off a little bit this format. However, or I guess last format, I've been seeing it kind of pop out of the woodwork again because it has a decent matchup spread because of just its ability for non-engine, and you actually have much more of a gassy build, which is very cool. You are running more of a Despia build because you're running the Quem with the Cartesia, so you're able to do Mirror Jade looping plays, which I think is actually quite important. And Chimera gives you a little bit more of a ceiling. I've always advocated for that. I have had videos on my channel in the past. When the deck first came out, I'm like, guys, you should be running like Puppet and like other more branded cards in this deck. They're very good. For that reason, I'd be running Puppet too in this deck, frankly. But that is a preference kind of thing. You do have the Big Wing Baphomet plus the Mirror Sword Knight and the Aluber with the 2 Albazes and 1 Cartesia, 1 Quem. That makes sense when you're running a Chimera build. I think you can get away with 2 Aluber, 2 Albaz. So, very cool. And then you do run the Master Tau, which is funny. You do run the 3 Gazelle. Makes sense. And you have Fusion Deployment, which I've been seeing a lot more of in Chimera builds. Instead of running hand traps, though, which is what you traditionally see in these Chimera lists, you're running triple tactics, talents, and thrust with the duplication, which I love to see in a Chimera build. You don't necessarily see that non-engine in a Chimera build, so I respect it. Then you have 3 Chimera Fusion and 1 duplication, 3 Super Poly. And extra deck looking pretty standard for a Chimera build. You have 1 of each of the Chimera cards, and then a Magnum and a Dragoon. Still running the Grand Guignol, though. It's looking a lot more like a Despia build, and then you obviously have the Super Poly targets with a Typhon. Typhon just being a card you can slap on going second, and still kind of just play and do what you need to do. And then the side deck, you have 3 Raw Sphere mode with 2 Bestials and the Dark Law with Mass Change the Second, which is something that we just saw on the last list. So that is definitely cropping up a bit more. Mass Change the Second being, Dark Law just really does say no to fire decks right now. So, and you get to dodge Imperm because they Imperm your Aluber and you chain Mass Change the Second, and then Aluber still gets its search and you get a free Dark Law out of it. Not bad. I really do like it. Grubster, I love the Chimera stuff. Gives you the Chimera OTK, which doesn't destroy anything. So it gets around Garunix. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. CNT YGO, it's free Imperm dodge. Bates Imperm Veiler, makes Stroll and Veiler useless if Dark Law sticks. And Hand Rip for free if you chain Mass Change it to search an effect. Exactly. Like, that's why I feel like it's pretty good. I need to test that. That gas build is spicy, not gonna lie. I completely agree. This is like the spiciest Chimera list I've seen in a minute. I like it a lot. Snipe Poplar with the second of Dark Law always feels good. Very cool. We're also gonna be going over Andre Torres's Chimera list. I think is the last list. because he also won one of his OTSs with a Chimera list, so it's cool to see Chimera start cropping its head out. Fareed Jalil, how's it going, Fareed? How's it going? Channel member in the chat, Fareed Jalil, how you doing, bro? Nice to see you, brother. We're just going over OTS deck lists right now. We're actually at the tail end of it now, finally getting through them all. Appreciate y'all chilling with me tonight. We got 45 people still in the chat. Make sure to leave a like if you haven't checked out. Check out all those links down below. Join the Discord if you have not already. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful community brewing there. It's always great waking up and being able to talk Yu-Gi-Oh with you guys. So yeah, I'm very lucky and honored to have a community like you guys. So anyways, let's go into the next list. We have CD Sonic with a top 8 record of 5-2. Very nice list with the Chimera list, Mr. Grum. Thanks for sharing it. Congrats. So CD Sonic top 8 with a record of 5-2. Round 1 was a bye. Round 2 was fire. Game 1 Super Poly, Albaz break board, Puppet. He lost to a misplay game 2, and then game 3 he puppeted, and Solemn Strike was nice there, I guess. Which he is running Solemn Strike. That is something that is cropping back up. You see it in the OCG actually being used a lot to deal with the Snake Eye deck. That in Delta, Cyframe Delta. So I think Strike is certainly something that we could consider going first, because obviously it like outs a bestial or something too, and it just like obviously outs a Snake Eyes Ash or something. I think that Chain Disappearance though might be better. So guys, here's a little spoiler. Chain Disappearance is nuts right now, because if you hit the Snake Eyes Ash, you basically just make them cry. I just found out I have turbo pack ones from Edison. These are like $20 right now, fun fact, and it's a thrust target, so get your Chain Disappearances now. But yeah, that's why I'd be running over Strike personally. But also Strike is just like more general use, so like I can see why you're running Strike, and I really do like the list. So round 4 was against Vanadium. Round 3 was against Pure Snake Eye. He 2-0'd. He lost against Vanadium. BZ overextended, got hit with a Nib. I Masquerade on board, but life points made lose. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be careful about Nib always. Nib definitely is one of the hand traps that hurts our deck the most. And then round 6 was Snake Eyes. So yeah, I like this list. It's cool. I like the strikes. It's a little different. Pre-standard side and extra. And then we have the thrust and the talents, and then the banishment, the main with 1 Quem, no ad-lib, 1 puppet, 2 Mirror Jade. I like this list. And then we do have Angra's 6-0 first place Italy list. Let's go. 47 people. Oh, he has a tier limit. There's a tier limit sighting, folks. Dylan Chambers, what's up? Another channel member in the chat. We're having them all come through. Yo, what's up, Dylan Chambers? How's it going? Can I go over your list as well, Dylan? If you want me to, I could definitely go over yours. I know it's in the members only Discord channel. If you guys want to get a hold of that and get some extra coaching, some help on your decks, or if you just want to talk to me whenever, you can sign for a channel membership for $5 a month, and you get access to our secret channel member channel where I post early deck lists and early videos as well, and you get to support the channel for $5 a month. So what are you waiting for? Click the join button down below. Yeah, no, I'm trying not to get a sore throat here, and if you notice, I yell a lot. Like when I'm talking, I'm basically just projecting my voice really hard, because I feel like that's how I get my radio voice to sound a bit better. And when I do that, I get a sore throat if I don't like drink every 2 seconds. Fareed Jalil, finally got my invite, lads. Going to Euros in July. Let's go, Fareed. I still have to actually go over your list too. If you don't mind, I'd love to go over your list, Fareed. Cypherwing, how's it going? Nice to see you. Jake the Mountain Man, I got my chains a few days ago. Lol, what do you mean your chains? And John the Vampire, hello, hope your day has been great. I appreciate it, John. That's very nice of you. My day has been It didn't start off great. I won't lie, but it's ending pretty good. It's ending really nice. Obviously, streaming with all of you guys, it's always very fun to stream. I would stream all the time if I could. So NYL TV, nice. I got 2 secrets for 1 DLLs each. Do you mean Lavable Chain? I need some Lavable Chain. Regio Productions. Damn, chain disappearance is not even once per turn. Oh, that's the thing. It's chain disappearance. Okay, why did I say Lavable Chain? I'm a dummy. Yeah, no, chain disappearance is very spicy. I actually have some extra copies if anyone needs some, but I have like some extra rares. Hit me up. But yeah, chain disappearance is very good. So Little in Chambers, not much, just responding to your messages. I've been super busy all day. Yeah, go for it. Hell yeah, hell yeah. For your yugioh, of course you can go over. I'll post it in the Discord. Hell yeah. John the Vampire, happy ending, make the entire day. Yes, exactly, John. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for coming by, John. I appreciate it. So let's talk about Angra's list. So we're going to go over what they said in the Discord first, and then we'll go card by card. It was a 47 first place 6-0 Italy list, very impressive. The G Golem in the extra is actually another fusion for Super Poly. The Draco Quest used it only as a Nadir send while under Droll. So I think that means it was supposed to be a Draco Quest, basically. Round 1 was against Snake Eye Fire King. Round 2 was against Fluon Deriz. These are all also obviously all wins. Round 3, 4, and 5 was against Snake Eye Fire King. And then round 6 was against Rico Horus. 1 Jade is weird, I know, but because I play the tier Shiren, it regained, I can actually recycle no problem. How do you like the tier Shiren? That is a very cool inclusion. I've actually always thought that we should be running a Shiren. I've just kind of like never gotten around to using it. I think that Shiren's extremely free in our deck. And I thought that our deck was really good when we had the TEARLAMENTS in it, because you can obviously go Branded Fusion, send Albaz plus Shiren, and then you're able to do double fusions, which can be nice to like make a Mud Dragon or something and recur resources. I think tier Shiren on top of the regain, that's a really good point. Like that's another way to run regain and make use out of it to recycle with the 1 Mirror Jade. That's totally fair. Very solid list. And then you do have, let's just go card by card. 1 Adlib, 1 Albion, 3 Aluber, 2 Cartesia, 1 Sarnier, 1 Tragedy, 1 Maximus, 3 Fallen of Albaz, 1 Puppet, 1 Quem. Makes sense with the 1 Adlib. And then the Shiren, which I love. We love TEARLAMENTS around here. That's the deck I came back to playing this game with. Love fusion decks. And then the 1 Mercurier with the 1 Bellion. Then we have the High Spirits in regain for the spicy spells and traps, and then the droplets and the Nadirs and the tactics and the Super Poly. So I'm curious why you didn't run the thrust if you just didn't want to run it, or because like talents to me, it's very good going second, not so much going first. And I feel like thrust does both, so that's why I feel like in general thrust is just a better option than talents on its own in the main deck of a branded deck. But you know, it worked out very well for Angra. I really do appreciate you sharing the list. Very solid list. I love the Shiren with the regained. I've been seeing a lot of regained today, and it's making me put a little bit more stock in regained. I think that because I've always been like, oh, you need to run like 6 bestials for regain to be good. And, well, you could also just use it as a way to regain your resources. So, like, if you're running 1... and he does have the Magnuma, to be fair, if you're only running 1 Mirror Jade. And, you know, running 1 Mirror Jade is... I think it's dubious in this format, but when you have a plan like he does, and when you run the when you run Adlib, I think 1 Mirror Jade is actually just fine. It's just fine. Running 1 Mirror Jade with 1 Adlib is just fine. Adlib gets the job done. That is the plus to Adlib, I think, in the minute, is that you get to run 1 Mirror Jade. Angra says, it gave me a very strong grind game, plus opening discarding tier is super good. Oh, I bet. What did you usually fuse into Shiren? I'm curious. And would you ever run the other tier limit names? Like, would you ever run a Shiren, or sorry, a Merly or a Havness? Probably never a Merly, but maybe a Havness. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very much curious what you were usually fusing into with the Shiren. Like, what was your best thing that you would usually fuse into? I need to know the lines, brother. Samathy K3 IDK if my list had been looked at yet, lol. If you want to repost it, Samathy, I'll check it out again because I think I did go over it. I'm just not sure. Like, I had to if we're at the end of things. Had no thrust and asked for your help last week. Your tips helped me a lot. Aw, well, thank you very much for the kind words, and congratulations on killing it. Like, would love to see the mat if you got like if you want to show it off in the show off channel. But yeah, good for you, brother. Very cool list, very unique list. Doing it too with like a Shiren too, going in with the theory takes a lot. And Italy is a competitive place for Yu-Gi-Oh. Lots of really killer players, so very good for you, brother. Let's go into the side deck quickly. We do have the 1 Magma, 3 Droll, 3 Cosmics, 2 Dark Ruler No More with the Mistaken Arrest, and Evenlies. Did you like Mistaken Arrest? It's something I'm considering. I just feel like it's kind of hit or miss against the fire decks, and I might prefer deck Lockdown. And then obviously you do have the Dark Ruler, but you already run the Droplet, so I think that's fine. You know, you have the Dark Ruler for like the Manadium stuff. You were never losing against Manadium with this side deck, I'm not gonna lie. And then you obviously have the G Golem, which I believe is supposed to be a Draco Quest, and then 1 Masquerade. Did you like the Draco Quest? I'm very much interested in that because that's something I've never really seen a need for. Like, what are the lines with that? Like, what are the boards you're trying to clean up with that? Like, obviously I'm like Baron plus Dissipator, but yeah. The three fusions I go for are Stapelia, Quertus, and Masquerade, and Mud Dragon sometimes off of Shire, and that makes sense. Yeah, Stapelia seems like the best one, and then like Masquerade, Quertus next, or Mud Dragon if you can, you know. Regio Production, that's interesting. Angra might consider running Shire at the least. Yes, same here. Mistaken Arrest was the MVP. Manadium was my only worry. Yeah, I think we actually have kind of a bad Manadium matchup depending on their main deck, so I see why you were prepared for that. Did you like Mistaken Arrest against the fire decks? Since you ended up, you know, winning against 3 of them, I'm very much curious. Did you like Droll too in the end? Like, I'm assuming Mistaken Arrest was there for fire and then Droll was not. Like, or did you side in Mistaken and Droll? I'm curious. No, it's a lot of questions. I appreciate you answering, Angra. Very good list. Very good list. I'm very happy you sent it in. Angra says Draco Quest was there because I was worried about Savage Bro and Board and Snake Eyes. Fair enough. Did you ever see it? Or like, did it ever come up? I'm curious. And then we have Farid's list right here. Channel member Farid. This was his list. He got his top. He got his invite. Let's go. Appreciate you being a channel member, brother. People like you help support the channel, help make content like this on a daily basis. We're releasing daily branded content, updating the How to Play branded Despia playlist basically every week. That's all because of you guys and your support. You guys always coming through to the streams. You guys always commenting. We have an extremely active chat. I have an extremely active community. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Really do appreciate it. So yeah, this is Farid's list. 46 cards. And let's take a look at this. Now, we have the 3 Aluber, 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 2 Quem, 1 Albion, 1 Saranir, 1 Tragedy, and 1 Puppet, 1 Lube, and 1 Mercurier, and 1 Maximus. It's starting to become a very standard layout for the branded deck, but I think it's very good. And I think we didn't see actually a lot of double Quem today, so I do appreciate that you're on the double Quem, Farid. I'm gonna answer some chats before we finish this deck profile. So Angra says Droll was kind of mid because they went full combo anyway. Yeah, that's the thing. A quest never came up. I use it mostly for a Nadir Send under Droll. Got it. Dale and Chambers, feel free to post my list. I answer your questions and also added the fun poll in the show off channel. Okay. Yeah, no, we'll go over that right after this list. Remember, guys, if you do have an OTS list you'd like me to go over, I will go over it. We are nearing the end of the deck lists, so definitely make sure to get in your list if you have not already. And then Fareed also, I'm curious on I think you did post your matchups though in the members only channel, so I'm gonna go back and so yeah, I'm gonna go back and talk about them. So after I go over the side's very cool. 2 Pank, 3 Nib, 1 Feather Duster, 3 Cyclone, 3 Evenly, and 3 Summon Limit. Did you end up liking the Summon Limit for Reed? I'm very curious. Because that's something I recommended low-key, and I've seen mixed results, but I think, like, in theory, it's very good. And then you have the Cosmic. I think the Duster actually makes sense, and you do have the Pankrotop, so you're just... When you run Pank, Cosmic, and Evenly, you're never losing to Anti-Spell, which is one of the biggest threats right now, in my opinion, to your deck. Fire decks, spoiler alert, they can run Anti-Spell. Fareed Jalil says... Double Quem is so important in this format, especially to play around Nibiru. Yes, exactly. It's like, because if you're playing or to play through Nibiru, frankly, because if they Nibiru you can obviously go into the Quem off of the Maximus and still play, or sorry, go into the Quem off of, well, yeah, the Quem off of the Maximus through the Nibiru. So No Vanity says, what's up, No Vanity? Nice to see you, brother. What's the idea behind Duster in literally every side deck? Is that necessary? I think it's not necessary. I just think it clears up a lot of back row, which your deck struggles with. Like, Branded, one of its weak points is spot removal. So Feather Duster just being a card that says get rid of every spell and trap, I think inherently will make it always a really good option in Branded when you don't have any in-house like ways to do that. So it's something to consider. Thank you, Jamie, for subscribing. And so I don't think it's necessary because, and also a lot of the fire decks are not, they're sending their Sanctuary off of Snake Eyes Ash. So Feather Duster is sometimes even live against the Fire King deck. Would I side against them? No, but it's there. Especially, and the thing is though, it does play into Anti-Spell. That's why I don't personally run it, but it is a option for you. It's a 1 card. You know, I understand it. Fareed Jalil kind of made me lose the game. I got locked into my own summon limit. Oh, darn. Yeah. That is... See, that's the thing. It's a tricky card. It's definitely a tricky card. It's something you can maybe end up just cutting, but I was curious how you ended up liking it, because I think it's okay right now against Fire King. I think it's pretty good, frankly, but, like, you know, it is one of those double-edged swords where you gotta be careful. Duster is for thrust in 45 card decks. It's just a better chance to see a good card against spells and traps. That one guy just posted mine. Very nice, very nice. Fareed said he 2-0'd a level 8 spam horse deck, and then 2-0'd Exo Sister, 2-0'd Striker, and then lost against Voiceless. He also got top 3 as OTS, guys. So very nice. Congratulations on getting your top. Very nice list. I do like it, and we'll see what happens with Fareed in the future. He might cut those summon limits. Been seeing some kind of negative feedback on the summon limits lately. So if you guys are looking for a better going first option, I think Tikaboo is very good, and I think that deck lockdown might be our play, or Mistaken Arrest. So yeah, let's go over Hybrid's list. Mr. Hybrid here, he 2-0'd. So basically, he did this, he did a side event at a OTS, but still did very well. so I wanted to post it. And it's a very good list. So here's his list right here. You do have the soul releases, which I immediately like. We didn't see too many soul releases. Just run the Nibiru's, the Ash Blossoms, and then the Dark Magician. I'm curious how you like the Dark Magician. The ad-lib too, obviously, with the one Quem makes sense. With the Gimmick Puppet, very nice. You got the Super Polys and Nadirs with Thrust, Talents, and yeah, very solid main deck. And then the side deck too, very solid. I personally love Soul Release. I think it's a bit better than the shaddoll package, although the shaddoll package is still very good. It just hurts sometimes when you have to commit so much space to the shaddoll package. So, you know, something that you have to definitely manage while you're running these things. Why run summon limit when you can gimmick puppet lock, says Davis? Well, a lot of the time they can out your gimmick puppet, so or if you get hand trapped, you can end on summon limit at least, so you can turn skip them. So let's just say you go Aluber, they get impermed, and then you set summon limit and pass. You wouldn't be able to do that elsewise without summon limit. And at least they can't play the game then, and then they can turn and then they can pass their turn. You can go Sanctifier, and then like start setting up puppet. Dylan Chambers, or if you play more reserved on opponent's draw phase to finish combo, you can get around Nib with what Quem. Not going full combo every time was helpful. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you don't need to go full combo. Sometimes you can just save that Nadir Servant for your crackback if your like board is good enough. Like, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but like, you know, sometimes you don't have to all in if you're gonna be, especially if you're playing into Nib. It's just better not to. Apex Doffy, I summoned limited my buddy at locals when he outed Gimmick Lock, and the look on his face was priceless. He was like, "Hey, I thought I dealt with that," and then nope, he was still screwed. Dylan Chambers, I just had to go back into the game. It was my first event. I wasn't too confident for the main event. That's totally fair. I think it's actually a very good list, and you killed it out there, so I think you should you know, definitely if you're able to catch one of the, because I think you'll get your top, brother. You seem like a killer player. You did well with this list. And his matchups were round 1 against Snake Eye Fire King, round 2 Sword Soul, round 3 Flu, round 4 Menadium, and round 5 Lab, and he 2-0'd everything except for Menadium. But they played it out. He lost in game 3. Menadium being one of our harder matchups. And what's cool is you 2-0'd Flu, and you 2-0'd Sword Soul, which can be some of our Labyrinth, which can be some of our hardest matchups, and you 2-0'd Snake Eye Fire King. So it seems like you're doing just fine, brother. Killing it out here. All right, I'm gonna check out some. Oh yeah, I have to check out Sammy's list too. I completely forgot Sammy's list. Shout Sammy. I don't know if Sammy's here in the chat right now, but your list is something I did want to go over. Shout out to Sammy. They top forward and got their Oceanic invite. So very interesting list too. So main deck, not so much, but you do have the imperms in the main with no ashes. I asked about that. They said that imperm can act as a board breaker and a hand trap, which doesn't use any extra decks like any extra cards like Droplet. I personally feel like I need every card I can beat for Snake Eye Fire King, plus it doesn't die to shifter decks. So that's totally fair. That's why they're not on Droplet. They are on imperm. It's definitely a choice, an understandable one. I personally think if you're running only one hand trap, you should probably be running just Droplet. But like, you know, if you're worried about shifter, that makes sense to have imperm. And they do side the Ash Blossom, so you know, obviously Ash plus imperm goes pretty hard, and then obviously with the Nibiru. And then the extra deck, not too much to say about that. Got the Quertus, got the Stapelia, got the Lulu, and then we do have the side deck of the Nibiru Kashtira Fenrirs, which Fenrir is definitely the spicy thing of this list. We haven't seen any Fenrirs in any of these lists. I think Fenrir is cool because it gives you extra discard fodder, you know, obviously by searching a card, and then also it can break a board or be an okay piece going first. For that reason, I might have just main decked the Fenrir in this kind of build, but obviously then you have to like up the gas, so I understand not maining it. I just think siding Fenrir is dubious. But it's certainly something to consider, and it's cool to see more people out here running Fenrir again, when I feel like that card was actually being ran a lot and branded prior, especially in kashtira format. Remember, guys, 26 likes right now. 4 more likes and we'll get 30 likes. 46, about 50 people watching right now. Very much would appreciate if you guys smash that like button. Check out those links below. Bookmark that TCG player affiliate link and join the channel membership today if you want to support the channel for $5 a month. Very much would appreciate it. Always could super chat to support the channel as well. So, and then you have the Herald of the Abyss and the Dark Ruler and the 3 Cosmics and then the Masquerade. So I've been seeing a lot more Dark Ruler, and the one of Herald obviously makes sense, especially if you're expecting purrely. I think Dark Ruler might actually just be an okay one of, especially if you're on a thrust package right now. So something to consider with how many people have been running them in these lists, in my opinion. Yeah, I like your build, Sammy, and congratulations on getting your invite. All right, so we have Rebirth's list. Rebirth, did you top? I'm not sure, but you know, we will. I believe this is an OTS list. Oh wow, we got like 8 new members in the Discord. Shout out to all you guys joining the Discord. So, and also Hybrid, I do want to say, ended up pulling this. He traded for an ulti thrust for that. So he ended up doing well at his side event, and then also even got the thrust with the drippy pulls. You'll love to see it. So yeah, oh no, just posted a list, not top. I'll still go over it. So yeah, I do like your list. We have the DDG plus the thrust plus the D barrier as the thrust targets. I like that. I mean, I have no problem with the main. This is like my exact main deck. So I can't, I mean, the ad lib is probably unnecessary in my opinion, but obviously we've talked about this. I think ad lib is an okay option. I just think when you're running a lot of spells, running an ad lib is a little dubious sometimes, with 2 Quem especially. But I do like the list. And then the thrust targets are spicy. Which one do you end up liking more is my question. I would probably cut down to 1 or 2. Like I said, Chain Disappearance is something to consider too. And then the extra deck is cool. I like the Masquerade and then the double Mirror Jade. And then the Evenlies too with the Nibiru and Drolls. So, I mean, I just think Droll's pretty bad right now personally, guys. But, like, I get it for localized metas. I just think it is a card that we can be cutting right now, frankly. Okay, so anyways, how's everyone doing? Card Limit says, I cried laughing. Guy says, Goku beats Superman, destroyed himself, saying, I really don't need to do research to know the result. Oh my gosh, power scalers leaking into my Yu-Gi-Oh chat. I was watching Seth the debater like talk about this the other day, and he said like Goku I think like always gets against Superman. Am I wrong to like assume that card limits? Like, I'm not very good at power scaling. I'm into anime, but it seems like Goku would be able to kind of just like crush it in Superman's chest kind of thing, but maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, you obviously have to compare different feats from different things to scale properly, but yeah, no, I do like this list. DGG I like the most, thinking about going to Drooler instead of D barrier. Yeah, I think like, because I don't think you need 3 thrust targets, but also having some okay going first options ain't bad. You know, like I said, having 3 floodgates in the main for when you get hand trap is embedded, so I get the ratio. Can Goku beat Gimmick Puppet Lock, though, says Davis. That, my man is asking the real questions we need to get the bottom of. I mean, I think it's going to really depend on if Goku is able to get the energy to get the collective spirit called by the grave together. He needs everyone's help. Card Limit says Superman has done a lot of things Goku can't. Biggest feat in the comics was lifting something defined that had infinite weight. Oh, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay. Like I said, I'm very tertiarily into power scaling just through being into anime. Also, guys, I might make an anime channel one day. That's just like, I know we're on Yu-Gi-Oh, but you know, I might make that as a passion project. So, anyways, no, because Goku can't summon his friends, Lamau. So yeah, I think we do have. Do we have any other lists? I'll get bedrooms list since he went over it or posted it second place. Third person local, not bad, not bad. 50 card main deck. Phantasma's double Albion, maybe like, I mean, with the one Nibiru, I do like that. I mean, you consider a high spirit maybe. Triple Albion maybe even in a build like this. Like, you do have the double Brandon red. I've been liking to see that. When you see double or triple Albion lately, definitely not bad. Did I miss anyone's list? I don't think I missed anyone's list. Oh, we're supposed to go over Andre Torres's list. Got it. I'm gonna go over Andre Torres's list, and then we will be done with the OTS list, guys. And this is a video, so we get to watch it. It's also, I think, in Spanish entirely, so this is gonna be a fun one. We are not watching it in Spanish. I'm just gonna have to skip through it. So this is Andre Torres's. Shout out to the GOAT, Andre Torres himself. He posted this on his channel earlier today. He went 6-0 with branded Chimera at his OTS. Andre Torres, if anyone does not know already, is someone who has topped multiple high-level events and won multiple high-level events with brand Despia. Arguably the most tops with the deck, so that's why we call him the GOAT around here. And I'm glad he's still, you know, playing the deck, but he's playing Chimera here. I know this is something that he has played in the past, so yeah, we're just gonna fast forward this as we go through it. So we do have 1 Tau, 2 Berthamet, and then 3 of each, which is basically where our man was on earlier. Card Limit says one of the creators said in a Tem versus Goku, a Tem would win because Goku can't follow the rules of any game, let alone a shadow game. That's hilarious. That's just hilarious that like the Pharaoh just like no diffs Goku because he can't follow the rules. Thomas Fan, nice to see you. One of our longtime viewers, Thomas Fan. Just want to know what my game plan should be versus Voiceless Voice and Fire King for this weekend regional. I mean, definitely join the channel membership if you want some in-depth help on those matchups. It can help you in the coaching channel. But outside of that, I think that branded loss chaining Super Poly gets around Voiceless Voice, having something to banish to get around their spell and graveyard is your biggest thing. Nicholas Smith, oh, did you go over my new brand Despia list for Fam Nightmare on Chain Nicholas? I did not, I don't think. I skipped the non-OTS list because I want to review all the non-OTS lists next stream. Because you guys know I like to make a Roasting Your Branded Despia's deck series. If you didn't know already. I like to come on stream once every 2 weeks and collect all your deck lists and just review them in like a giant hour-long video. So also, we see Andre Torres here running 1 Cartesia, 1 Aluber, 2 Deployment, 2 Albaz. So no Quem. Then he's on the Edge package too. Understandable. And then obviously a Called By. And then this is the Hand Trap package it looks like he's on. 3 Nibiru, 3 Valor, 3 Imperm, 3 Super Poly. We saw our man's you know, kind of use the board breaker approach and Chimera earlier in the deck list that we reviewed. That won the Italy OTS with Chimera, but I do like this version as well, where you're able to run a bunch of hand traps as well. I think because you're obviously playing Guardian Chimera, so you're drawing, so hand traps like inherently fit in quite nice inside the Chimera deck. So, and then it looks like he is main decking 3 summon limit. Or is he just siding them? No, this is the side deck. So he's siding 3 summon limit. Yeah, he's not. So this is kind of like what my theory was with summon limit. You know, if you can run it in Chimera, you can run it in this deck. So it seemed like it worked out for him pretty fine. And then we have the 3, oh my god. We have the 3 droll. Sorry, not 3 droll. We have 3 ghost ball. Responding to people spamming me on Facebook. When I'm streaming, of course. And then 3 ash blossom. You know, that makes sense at the side. It's something I've, you know, also said you could run the side for, you know, those matchups. You probably expected some Labyrinth. Having Ghost Bell and Ash in there means that you won't lose to Labyrinth, and then you also have the Bestial Magnamute. And these cards also kind of double against Fire King as well, minus the Ash. Then you have the double Cyclone, not understandable. And then you run the Barrier Statue, because that is basically Gimmick Puppet for the deck. Because you can summon it out. So if you're running this deck, I'd be running the Barrier Statue as well. I know that Angra was not, so maybe if he's still here, did you miss not having the Barrier Statue? Nicholas Smith, because I sided the Forbidden and called by Edit the Nadir and Maximus, it changed the side deck a bit. The Ballin Sub King, how's it hanging? How's it going, Ballins? Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. We're just finishing up the last OTS list here. Mr. Andre Torres, the GOAT himself. How you doing, the Ballins? And looks like really standard, just extra deck. Got the Renbrum, got the double Chimera this time though, with the Magnum, and then you do have the Grand Guignol, which helps you, you know, obviously extend. I think not running Grand Guignol in Chimera is a huge missed opportunity. Those cards just go very hard. So, but yeah, that was Andre Torres' list. So that means we have gone through all the OTS lists, guys. We got through it. Yay! Did you know that I have channel memberships now? This is the best way that you can support the channel and get some awesome perks. You get access to the hidden Discord group chat, where you get to ask me any questions about your decks. You get early deck lists, some early videos even, and exclusive emotes to use in the YouTube chat. And you get to duel me once a month. The best part is you get to support amazing branded and Yu-Gi-Oh content going forward. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for the memberships down below. Thanks for watching the video.